Mr. Wheeler, if you'll please stand up and come up to the microphone here in the middle, please. All right, Mr. Wheeler, I'm Judge O'Brien. I'm going to read you your rights, and then I'm going to talk to you about the charges that are placed on you. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right and obligation to be present at your trial. If you fail to show up for your trial, they'll place failure to appear charges against you, and you could face an additional 1 to 5 years in jail. You have the right to a trial by jury. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be provided for you through the public defender's office. If the charges that are placed on you are discharged, dismissed, not prosecuted, or if you're found not guilty, you have the right to have your record expunged or wiped clean from these charges. Now, you are being charged with a criminal offense, and if you were found guilty, you are facing serious consequences, which may include the payment of a fine, the loss of your driver's license, and the possibility of a jail sentence. In addition, you may face increased penalties for later convictions, the loss of your right to possess firearms or ammunition, and your immigration status could be affected. You have important constitutional rights, including the right to representation by an attorney, but you may lose those rights or waive them if you do not act to protect those rights. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you in every case. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may be eligible for a free attorney. If you want a determination made as to whether you are qualified for a free lawyer, then it is your obligation to be screened at the location identified in paragraph 5C of the bond checklist form that I'm going to give you tonight. If you do not hire an attorney or go to be screened, then you may be found to have waived your right to an attorney at your trial. You also have the right to represent yourself. However, you should be aware that self-representation can be dangerous. For example, there may be certain factual or legal defenses to your charge that you were not aware of, or legal issues related to the conduct of your trial or guilty plea that an attorney would know how to preserve for an appeal. If you exercise your right to proceed without a lawyer, then you are responsible for complying with all applicable rules of court, including rules of evidence, procedural rules, and proper behavior before the judge and jury. If convicted on the charges filed against you, in order to pay a fine, you may request a reasonable scheduled payment plan to pay that fine. It is your obligation to keep up with your trial date and to obtain an attorney, either by hiring one or by being screened and found eligible for a court-appointed attorney prior to your trial date. If you do not appear at your trial with your attorney, you may be deemed to have waived your right to have an attorney represent you. You are required to keep the court notified of any changes of address until the completion of your case. Do you understand so far?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Wheeler, you're being charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. All 4 of these charges are general sessions charges, so you have the right of a preliminary hearing. The preliminary hearing is an evidence hearing where the state has to show that they have the evidence to take you to court. If you want that hearing, take the form I'm going to give you and fill it out. You can mail it or take it to the address on the form, or you can fill it out tonight and give it back to me. But you only have a total of 10 days to get that form turned in. Otherwise, you lose your right to that hearing. Now, folks, I understand that the 2 of you are 2 of the 3 victims of this case. If you'd like to speak to the court in reference to these charges, you're welcome to do so. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. But if you do want to say something, just kind of wave at me and come up to that microphone. Is there anything that either one of you would like to say? Go ahead, sir. Come on up.
I just want to thank
Talk really, really loud for me.
I just want to thank God that I'm alive, and I hope that the bond is denied. I wouldn't feel safe with a person like this to even shoot at me and my family that was in the vehicle. You know, so I hope justice is served. And
All right,
thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you want to say anything? Come on up. Talk really loud for me.
I also would like to say the same thing. I want to thank God that I'm still here today to be with my friends and family. And I also want to request that the bond gets denied also.
All right.
That's all I want to say.
All right, thank you very much. Well, Mr. Wheeler, I'm going to place 2 conditions on your bond. First of all, until we get this thing settled in court, you are not to have any contact with any of the 3 victims or their families.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, you're not to be in possession of any firearms or any weapons while you are out on bond. Now, because of the nature of the charges here, the 3 attempted murders and the possession of a weapon charge, I am going to place you under a no bond, and I'm going to send you to the circuit court for a bond hearing. Your next court date will be sometime in the next 30 days, and at that point in time, it will be up to the circuit court judge to make a determination on your bond as to whether to grant you a bond or to keep you in jail until your court date. Do you have any questions I can answer for you?
Yes, sir. I was wondering if I'd be able to speak on my behalf at all.
I'm sorry?
I was wondering if I'd be able to speak on my behalf at all.
In the case here tonight, if you want to say something, you can. However, I do want to remind you that you do have the right to remain silent. If you still want to speak, you're certainly welcome to do so.
Yes, Your Honor. During the time right before I did what I did, which I do not deny, I felt like I was having a flashback back to Iraq because I was being attacked by another vehicle. I wasn't in my right frame of mind when I did what I did. I am very apologetic for what happened, but I was not in the right frame of mind at the time. I'm a combat veteran, Purple Heart veteran, and just wanted to apologize for what happened. But I have no violent criminal offenses on my record or anything.
Okay, sir. Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, I am going to place you under a no bond, and I'm going to send you to the circuit court for a bond hearing. Your next court date again will be sometime in the next 30 days. If you'll please come down to the window, my clerk will have some papers for you. Folks, do you have any questions I can answer for you? Do you have any questions? Okay. You'll be notified when the next bond hearing will be, and you have the right to attend that also if you wish to. Okay? And thank you very much for coming.
Sorry.
Initial 2, 3.5.